Hi guys, this is Plugged In with Spike Leo. Today we have special guest Aman. I want to say he's a music producer, but he is a full creative music producer, artist, many other things, creative, mix engineer, maestro, all-rounder. Now, I've met Aman a couple of times. I've met you a couple of times, right, bro?
Yeah.
And I just felt with you like instant chemistry, like bro chemistry.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Love it.
right there. And it was just, I don't know, like just connected on a musical level. You're really down to earth, and I love what you do and what you represent. And I feel like morally and what we stand for is pretty similar.
Yeah.
In like, you know, building something great. And we both,
100%.
we both know it takes fucking hard work.
It does take a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And even till now, like, we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's like, it doesn't matter how far I get, I always feel like I'm just beginning.
Yeah, I know, 100%.
Because you start as amateur,
Yeah.
and then you kind of, you learn your shit, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting good, and then you like look at the pros, and you're like, I'm amateur of the pros now. So it's just
Yeah.
like never ending.
There's always going to be someone out there that's better, but at the end of the day, what they don't have is you.
That's right, man.
You know, so everyone has their own individual uniqueness.
Yeah.
And that's what's so beautiful about the world and each art form.
Yeah, I completely agree. But it takes a long time to get there as well.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
does.
Because when you first start trying to create, you're kind of creating what you think people want to hear.
Yeah.
And you know, you're copying your favorite artist, which is good because that's kind of the learning process. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I want to ask you, man. Like, you know, we've had a few discussions over the time that we've known each other, but I really want to get to know you more and let people know what you're about. So my first question for you is like, how long have you been making music, and what first inspired you to start?
All right, so I actually started rapping when I was 15 years old.
Sure.
And I got brought up from a really strict religious family.
Sure.
And didn't really allow music in the house. I guess that what made me rebel and want to really get into music. And I think that's the whole reason a lot of people do music. I just feel like it's a good way of expression, you know? So I started writing a lot of lyrics and started rapping, and then I realized that it's a hard industry to get into by the time I turned 17. But I figured out, what if I start mixing and mastering and starting to meet a lot of artists and create a network? And so when I turned 18, I went to SAE, and I started studying audio engineering. When I turned 20, I came to Melbourne because, you know, Perth is so small, you know, and there wasn't really much going on. I've created some amazing relationships, and a lot of the artists move over to Melbourne anyway.
And with that passion, like as you progressed with your career, did you find that your family became more supportive, or was it still something you were fighting against as you grew up?
Yeah, well, my dad was never supportive, still not. And my mom and dad, they left each other. But my mom, like, she's still trying to accept it.
Sure.
You know, she still doesn't support it 100%. But she just knows that, like, at the end of the day, it's what I love doing. And I'm an adult. And I guess she respects that. So just as long as you can take care of yourself, then I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
You have my backing, but it's always one of those things with the music. It's just like, she goes, it's not allowed in our religion. And so, like, I always had that, but then I realized...
Yeah, so you're saying your mum showed you to have good intentions.
Yeah, so I felt like even if it's something that's not allowed, at least I'm going to make a good impact.
Sure.
At least I would inspire. And I made it that my duty, that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to help. It's like life, I feel like happiness lies within giving.
Sure.
You know, whether it's vocal, like words, whether it's physical things, just a general thing. I think life gives us life, and it gives us water, it gives us air to breathe, and I feel like what's important is the art of giving is so much bigger than what we think.
About gratitude, yeah, 100%. I mean, when you have that kind of gratitude for life and what you do, I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in things and get carried away, and, you know, make these little issues into big issues when they're not. And when you put things into perspective, when you're present, when you're true to yourself. But what I really like about you, man, is like, you're just so fucking real. You know, like you're really down to earth. I just love this. I feel like there's no bullshit with you, and all the kind of stuff that I've watched and the things I connect with, it's like authenticity always wins.
100%.
You know, and you can see that you're really comfortable with who you are, and you know what you stand for, and I think that's so important, that like no matter what gets in your way, you're still really true to music, and it's that feeling that we both have, you know, like you just know when you're there, it's this happy place, and you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life, you know what I mean?
And like, yo, mad love to you, my brother.
Oh,
like,
thanks, man.
Bring me on the spot here, you know, and to really give the opportunity. I feel like that's amazing. That means, that shows how beautiful your art is.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Mad love, bros.
But this is about you, bro. So I want to get more into the writing process. I want to ask, like, how do you get started when crafting a new piece of music, and how do you know when something's finished and ready to be shared?
I guess it's never finished.
That's right.
It's never finished.
It's never finished, man.
You know, it can be perfect, but it can never be finished. Well, I don't believe everything can be perfect, but it can be perfect to an extent.
Sure.
You know, but I guess workflow is like important, that when I work on music, or when I'm working with people or the team, you know, I feel like we get all our ideas down first, and then we worry about all the little things later. But in terms of getting that creativity out first, creates that energy.
Sure.
And that's how my workflow is like.
Yeah.
Creativity first, smash it out. Don't worry about all those little things too much, because that could be done in post.
You just want to hold on to the vibe.
Just hold on to that vibe, because at the end of the day, vibe plays a big part, not only in making music, but in life.
Yeah.
You know, being around good environment makes you feel good. Being around a creative environment in the studio, and doing everything you love doing should make you feel good. You shouldn't be stressed.
That's right.
You know.
I want to ask you, do you think anyone with the right passion for what they create can make a career out of it? So I mean, music or otherwise, you know, if you have the passion, can you make a career from it, or are there other factors involved?
I feel like it's commitment. Anything, look, I was watching this thing with Dame Dash, and Dame Dash is like, runs Rockefeller, you know, and he was saying like, look, if you want to be successful in anything, you have to treat it like it's your 9-to-5 like job, in terms of treat it like, give it that 8 hours it needs. 8 to 10 hours. Like you would go to a job, spending that time and building your art and having that commitment and taking it that seriously can make the biggest impact.
Yeah.
So when like even like big artists like Dame Dash, you know, big producers saying that, you know, kind of clarifies to me that, and also what I tell the kids I work with about, look, commitment is key, and there's always an opportunity. There's always an opportunity, because life is forever giving, you know? And so if you search in the right places, and searching could be working on your art and knowing that you want to make a difference, or knowing that you want to express yourself, and knowing that you're going to get somewhere through that, the doors are going to open up.
Sure.
But you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
All right, I want to ask you, I feel like we've kind of covered main tips or advice you can give music producers. Oh, actually, let's briefly talk about it. A quick tip or advice you could give to not just music producers, but artists who are looking to start crafting a career, and maybe the best way to connect with other artists in terms of collaboration and stuff like that.
I think for me, my experience, the best way that I connected with other artists was, like I said, go to gigs, go actually be proactive in your community. And the way you be, even if you don't feel like as if there's a big community, find that, right? And use social media to your benefit. right? There's so many groups out there, like Melbourne Musicians. There's so many, like,
Yeah, it's a good group.
you know, like, so many amazing groups out there, and you can post something up and they will reply it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so amazing how, like, the art of social media can be bad and can be full of that rubbish, or you could use it for a positive thing to create your own personal brand.
Yeah.
And to really get out there. And I think social media helped me a lot in terms of getting out there, because I only used it to get it out there.
Yeah, that's
right. I don't use it to post up all this. I only use it to meet people. You know, that's what networking is.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's important.
You have to follow through with actually meeting them.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, but so that's that. And so yeah, any piece of advice is make sure you're actually committed to your craft. Self-doubt can play a big part.
Yeah.
When I went to New York, I was 21 years old when I went to New York, and I was working with my friend Joshua Jacobenko. Shout out to him, and my homie Friendy Lamorin, actually. He was currently managing a vape store at the time. He took us out to all these, like, private parties, and it was so beautiful, man. Like,
yeah, nice.
Like being around that culture, it was amazing. But one of the things that really stood out to me when I went over there and was in and out of these studios and going to these parties, you know, is they really believed in what they were doing. Okay, and that's why the work ethic is on another level, because they believe in their heart.
Yep.
And I feel like what I learned is, don't doubt yourself. Just know that whatever you do and you're following what you want, that things are going to work out. All right, and just give it your 100%. And if it doesn't, it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
You know what? Failure is pretty much a stepping stone to progress. You know, to success. Fail 100 times, it's all right. So yeah,
I mean, that was my next question, bro. So you kind of answered that, like struggling to overcome rejection.
Yeah.
You know, how do you get yourself? How do you deal with that, and how do you get yourself out of, as well, a creative rut? I love the self-confidence that you have, and I'm just assuming, you know, that even though your parents may not be supportive of your career, you had some really great parents. Who've taught you some strong morals and values, because that's a foundation for who we are.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But, you know, how do you deal with all forms of rejection, whether it's against your art? I mean, it's hard not to care what other people think. Music is so subjective that not everyone's going to like your shit. And then, you know, if you do get in a creative rut, like, how do you find inspiration? How do you reignite that fire to keep creative?
I guess there's times where you don't feel like doing anything because, like, you're going through something, and I know that feeling.
Yeah,
it happens to me all the time. Happens to us. It doesn't even happen to the biggest stars. It happens to them. We're only human, okay, and it's okay. But what is not okay is being a complainer. Okay, you could tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to give myself some time to work on myself. I'm going to use that time. The way I'm going to work myself is doing what I love doing. All right? It's all a mental game. At the end of the day, mental health is key. All right? So even when you're going through something, that's an amazing opportunity to work on something. You know what I'm saying? And just use it and convincing yourself that that is who you are. Music is a lifestyle. It's a love. It's a passion. You use it to express yourself, so that rejection doesn't feel as bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like, and rejection is okay. It's not meant to be if it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and that's what I tell, like, a lot of my friends and the people that I work with. You know, like, or even when I try to go out there and get clients and create those relationships, and people are like, oh no, I don't have the money, or I start to realize that the right ones, as long as you're committed, will come. And look, Indigenous hip hop projects at a time where I didn't have anything came.
I mean, you've kind of covered it, really. I mean, collaboration obviously is huge. The whole conversation we've spoken about community, networking, etc., etc. You know what? Let's get straight to Adrian. Let's talk a bit about your relationship, working relationship. How did you meet Adrian Eagle? So there was just a release of Aussie Eagle. Is that the name of the song?
No, Adrian. Oh no, 17 again.
17 again.
Yeah.
Incredible song.
Yeah.
Beautiful production. I'm assuming yours.
So I pretty much, all right, look, I'm a guy that pulls a lot of strings as well. All right, I'll get to the 17 again thing. So what happened was, I think about 3 years ago, Adrian approached me, and he was very like connected with his music, and he didn't really show that many people, and you know he's still starting off. And he showed me the song "Son of the Sun" with another like hip hop type beat, and like he found online, and all these other songs he's been singing to, and it just hit me like, this is authenticity. It's real.
Yeah.
He's singing with his own accent, and he's proud where he's from, Adelaide, and he's representing, you know. So, and when he sung to me that first time, when he just sung to my face, that face-to-face interaction. So he met me through my friend Jamie Perkins, who's a YouTube star now.
Sure.
Nikki and Jamie Perkins. And Jamie, shout out to Jamie. He recommended Adrian to me. So when Adrian hit me up, he came to the studio. So anyways, what happened was, we were working. He was telling me his story, how he used to weigh 270 kilos. He wanted and music helped him like mentally get back on track. And he was always a singer. And when he sung to me, I was blown away. And what happened was, I was like, look, bro, I'm gonna make my duty to do everything that I can, because I can see the talent. Because like once you see talent, once you see that, I think that should be your driving force.
Definitely.
That passion and love, because you're like, you know what? I see potential, and I want to bring out the greatest in someone, which is going to help me bring out the greatest in
That's
me.
right, and make great music, man.
Make great. So we started with me and Jacob from Jakubi produced "Son of the Sun." He dropped down this bass line, I did the drums, chord progressions. Yeah, the song was like banging. It's like a reggae tune. We didn't know how I didn't know how it became reggae.
Yeah.
And so it's just so happened to turn out reggae, because I'm just feeling the vibe, you know. So when that came about, you know, that got released, got a bit of airtime on Kiss FM.
Amazing.
You know, and stuff like that. So we had a really good opportunity. That was a good stepping stone. And then we released another track called A-OK after that, which was about his mental journey. And I started something called One Mic Sessions, which was like a platform for artists and collaboration platform as well, where people that don't really know each other or haven't really worked with each other can come together.
I love that idea. I still love that.
Yeah, they can come together for free. Can come together for free and also get their talent shown on social network.
Is that something still running, or?
Yeah, so I'm working on rebranding all that. I feel like right now I'm in the midst of just working on myself and my brand. I think once I start building the vision up to how I want it to be, then it's gonna come.
Sure.
It's gonna, because I still want to do this. I still want to create that platform for emerging artists.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, we did that One Mic Session. That blew up. A-OK, man. Out Northern Territory, like all the way to like the Kimberley, like people were jamming that joint. That was like, yeah. And doing that session video, like no one was really doing many session videos at that time, except for these other guys. Got the name. There's two other people. Loop Live Sessions. Shout out to them. They were doing really good. And but a lot of the times they were like just covers. I wanted to do represent original songs. Is important, because that's how you can really connect with the artist. Anyways, so we did that. A year later, like I was still flying in and out. Yeah. I was like, damn, like this is taking its toll. I love it, but you know what? I'm gonna stay here, work on this talent, Adrian Eagle. So I told Adrian Eagle, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a band for you together, and we're gonna work on your art. Let's make this happen. Let's take this shit to the next level. Right? He was like, all right, I'm down. So January of last year, made that commitment, stopped flying in and out. Like, commitment is key, like I was saying. And we worked together really hard. And Jerome and Jacob from Jakubi, shout out to them boys, like they're working with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis right now. Wow. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But you know what? I'm talking about the amount of talent and opportunity like that I was given to be able to work with those boys. Anyways, so I told Jerome, like, look, Eagle loves your stuff, I love your stuff, can we work on music? Jerome was like, because Jerome is like singer, producer extraordinaire.
Sure.
And it was just like, all right, let's do it. So I was like, fine. So I mixed the vocals down. We're in the studio. We booked the session for 4 songs, and I was there like overseeing everything, helping come with certain drum lines, you know, just adding the spice, you know. Jerome did the chord progressions. I wanted to have that bit of that reggae feel, so that's how you hear the da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, so we were working back and forth, and then we got Jacob to do a real bass, because real bass, nothing can beat real funky bass, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to do that real funky type soul bass, and then what happened was that song came about, and 17 again, like, it worked so nicely, and then yeah, just being around collaboration, you know, that played its massive role. Like, it's beautiful how like that energy and just putting that creative thing down, and then I mixed that track and worked on getting those levels right, mastered it, and just made sure that it still has that raw element. And I was like, yo, Eagle. Now one of my other homies, so now Jerome, I connected with Jerome and Jacob, and I was like, my other homies, Daniel Morola. He is like an amazing videographer, and let's get Jamie Perkins on board as well, because he's helped us, you know, with the support and love. Anyway, so from that point onwards, we shot the music video, and I directed it. You know, made sure that it's exactly in tune with the vision of the artist.
Yeah.
You know, and I put a bit of my spice on it, and having that really high quality expectation, really, actually became such an amazing video. Like seeing what you've done come to life.
Yeah.
You know,
after all the hard work,
it's like plays the biggest impact. So I feel like working collaboratively and working with the talent, being around all that, and being able to creative direct and co-produce, executive produce, whatever, and being around all that energy just goes to show how amazing work you can come up with, you know. And so we got some more tunes coming out.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, music is emotion,
It
and you know, I really connected with the emotion and vibe of that, and you can really feel when the emotion and energy from like-minded people go into a tune. You know, when there's kind of like the pop factory churning shit song.
Yeah,
on the
man,
radio,
like,
it's just a kind of, it's just a song, but you know, I feel like the songs that are great are the ones that actually adopt that emotion. You can really feel the heart and soul in it. So I love that track, man.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.